What's up guys, welcome to Voicey here. This is your host, Captain Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledParents. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. This story is called Entitled Neighbor Doesn't Want Plum Tree to be Cut Down. Our family bought a house which was initially sharing yards with a house on our right. After some time, our family decided to build a wall between properties, respecting plot boundaries and whatnot. Making the decision between building a wall or a fence was an easy decision. Our neighbor, entitled neighbor in this case, would snoop around and literally sit outside her house and just watch ours. See who came out, came in, visited, everything. That wasn't it either. Not only would she spy on who was going inside or outside the house, she would be a pain in the butt when it came to parking as well. When friends came over, she obviously would see them arrive and watch them enter my house. Creepy. After my friends came in, hung out, and were planning to leave, they would encounter a little note on their windshield. "Next time you come over, please do not park here. This is a private parking area. Thank you." Yes, they were parked in front of her house, but they parked correctly without blocking any entrances. Every time from that point on, they made sure they parked in front of their house, even though there was a space in front of mine. Now to the palm tree part. When buying our house, the yard was shared, but in our half of the yard, there was this huge palm tree. We didn't mind it at first since it made locating our home easier for family and friends. Just look for the palm tree. But after deciding to build a wall to avoid snooping from our entitled neighbor, we also decided to build a small apartment next to our home so that my parents could rent it and get some extra cash. After a couple of months of planning, we decided to build it in the corner of the plot, where the palm tree was. We made arrangements and called someone who would help us cut it down. The day came. This was a big deal since the palm tree was very tall. About 5 to 6 workers arrived to our house and began talking to my dad about how things were going down. Note, the wall was mid-construction, just above eye level for me and 1 or 2 feet above our entitled neighbor's height. After the neighbors came and parked in front of my house, entitled neighbor could still see who was parking. While we were talking about how we were going to cut the palm tree down, I see entitled neighbor with her hands above the wall and has her head above the wall now. I look at her and freak out and say, "Entitled neighbor? Hello? Did you lose something? What are those people doing with saws?" Wait, you are not planning to cut the palm tree, are you? The workers and my dad are now aware of her. I thought she was impressed or amazed, not angry. Actually, yeah, we're planning to build an apartment here and Why? We're gonna rent it and maybe… Before I could finish, she left and went inside. I thought this weird interaction was over. I wish it was. She returns and goes to the front of the house. The fence door was open with her mother. She looks to be in her 80s or 90s on a wheelchair. "Hi, what are you doing? Careful, there's saws and axes all over the place." "You can't cut that palm tree. That palm tree my mother grew by herself, it reminds me of her. At least wait till she dies." Yes, she's referring to her mom, not the palm tree. Sorry, but we are going to build an apartment, and it's in the way, so we will cut it down. If you want, maybe we can move it instead of cutting it and put it on your side of the yard." "That would be great. You can put it over here." She gestures to a location in her yard. "I'll let you talk with the nice worker, then you can arrange the movement." "I'm not paying for it. It's on your property." "Okay, then since it's in my property and I won't pay the extra fee of moving it, I'm going to cut it down." "How dare you do this, you piece of sh…" "I think it's best for you to leave, entitled neighbor," I say while I stand in between them. She leaves and starts yelling from her side of the wall, yelling she'll call the police. I wish I had a recording of the yell she emitted when they finally cut the palm tree down. I think it's safe to say that we all wish he had a recording of that. It's always nice to hear that cry of defeat coming from entitled individuals. And this person… oh, yep, she's definitely entitled. Alright, this next story is actually a part 2 to another story I read on this channel. The story is called My Daughter is an Entitled Parent, and this story is called My Daughter is an Entitled Parent Part 2. In case you didn't see that video, basically the story's about how this guy's daughter was left living with his ex-wife, who was not a very good mom. And then his daughter grew up to be an arguably worse mother, blowing her welfare money on drugs and alcohol and requesting money from her father, to pay for her children's food. Anyways, on to the story. Several people commented that I should call CPS on my daughter. CPS has been called a couple times. They have deemed my grandchildren to be in a safe home. Example 4. This exchange happens at my house, while my daughter and her family are visiting me. It's a verbal conversation, so it's not word for word, but it's pretty close. We're watching the news and it's talking about how Oregon is working on a law to give some type of free benefit to children of illegal immigrants. I think that is BS. I'm not illegal and I should be entitled to get free stuff too. Daughter's baby daddy says,
No crap. We're always giving these illegals free stuff and we never get anything. They should give us people who are here legally the free stuff and not them.
Yeah, they never give anything to us for free. That's unfair. Don't you two get welfare? Well, yeah, but don't you also get food stamps and WIC and free healthcare? Well, yeah, but... And don't you live at your grandma's house for free? And we're approved for Section 8, but since neither of you work and you have a dog, they wouldn't let you in? It doesn't matter. They shouldn't be taking my tax money and giving it to illegals. What tax money? Neither of you have had jobs in 2 years. You don't pay any taxes. That's not true. We pay sales tax when we buy stuff. No, you don't. Oregon has no sales tax.
I'm just saying, they shouldn't be giving free stuff to illegals when there are citizens who need help.
That might be the case, but you both get a ton of free stuff out of the pockets of people who work hard for their money, while you two just sit on your butts. At that point, they both just looked at me and then got up and went outside to smoke a cigarette. Example 5. At a different time than example 4, my daughter and her family come up to visit for a 3-day weekend. They called and asked if they could stay with us from Friday through Monday, the holiday, then leave Monday. This conversation happened Sunday afternoon. So, what are your plans for tomorrow? You heading home or are you gonna go visit other family or friends? I remember you mentioning that a friend now lives in this area. You gonna have time to see them? I don't know. We were thinking of seeing friend, but not sure. She works and doesn't get off of work until late in the evening, and we don't want to have to see her so late and have to drive home. Well, you could always stay the night there, then drive home the next morning. Yeah, except all of our stuff is here, and it would be a huge hassle to have to pack everything up just to unpack everything at her house. She pauses for a couple of seconds. Hey, how about we just stay here and leave Tuesday? That won't work. I need to go to work Tuesday morning, and you guys are super noisy. I need to be able to get sleep on Monday night. Well, if we just leave our stuff here Monday night and go see my friend, you have to let us back in when we get back here, so that's just gonna interrupt your sleep anyway. What I'm saying is, when you leave on Monday to visit friend, take your stuff with you. No, that's a huge hassle. We'll just leave our stuff here, then leave here Tuesday morning. No, that's not going to work. You need to leave tomorrow, not Tuesday. When you called up and asked to come spend the weekend, I told you on the phone that you had to leave Monday. Let me go talk to baby daddy and see what he says. A few minutes later, he comes in to talk to me.
Why can't we stay here Monday night? That's bullcrap! It's rude that you won't let us stay here Monday night.
Don't take that tone with me. This is my house and you will not talk to me like that. I told daughter that you guys had to leave Monday when she asked if you could come up, as I have work on Tuesday.
Oh, I didn't know you told her that. She told me we could stay as long as we wanted.
No, definitely not. The two of them ended up getting into an argument, which made the night fun. But they did end up leaving Monday afternoon, and I was able to sleep before going back to work the next day. That was a nice little follow-up to a story about a man who's very disappointed in how his daughter turned out, but he had absolutely no control over how his daughter turned out because he couldn't raise his own daughter. Because the court system, custody battle system doohickey thing failed him, and said failed system made his daughter be raised by a druggy mother who had no job. Okay. This says a lot about society, and yet we live in one. This story's called Entitled Mom Thinks That a Common Cold is a Deadly Illness That Requires Immediate Attention. This happened a few years ago, back when I was working as a pharmacy clerk. so forgive me for the conversation isn't exact, but it's pretty close to how it actually went down. It was your typical Sunday morning at a pharmacy, which means it was absolute chaos. Everyone and their mother was in the store either to pick up their prescriptions or to request a refill. Because our employer didn't really care for the sanity of both his employees and his customers, I, a dumb teenager who thought that $7.50 an hour was enough to make me put up with insane people's BS, whilst seriously damaging my own mental health. Along with the pharmacist and the only pharmacy tech, we're the only people manning the fort. I was in charge of presenting customers with their prescriptions and ringing them up, while also taking new prescriptions and filling out our standard form that goes along with that process. If the tech wasn't busy, he'd come out to help me shorten the line. But by the time Entitled Mother walked in, the poor tech was too busy processing prescriptions and orders for the pharmacist to prepare. Entitled Mother walks up to the counter without even saying good morning and shoves her probably 5-year-old daughter in front of me.
My daughter's sick.
I look down at the kid, who looks fine to me, aside from a little sniffle here and there. Okay, what's your last name? That's a standard question I ask when I think that a customer is picking up a prescription.
I said my daughter is sick.
Did you have a prescription to pick up for her?
No, I need you to tell me what medicine to give her.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm not qualified to give you that kind of advice. You would get the best advice from the pharmacist. She's at that counter over there, and she'll be happy to help you.
Does that mean I have to get back in line?
No, you can just walk over there and she'll help you as soon as she's able.
So I could have just walked up to the pharmacist counter without having to wait in line? I've been waiting for over 45 minutes.
It was probably only 10 minutes.
Why didn't anyone tell me that before?
Maybe because I'm not a mind reader and I was already preoccupied with the people standing in line before you? Entitled Mother grabbed her daughter by the arm and dragged her over to the pharmacist counter, finally allowing me to get back to tending to the line that was now nearly out the door. I was filling out the next customer's information. Time elapsed circa 1 minute. When I hear a loud, obnoxious throat clear.
Hello? Where's the pharmacist?
The pharmacist, standing right beside the counter filling 3 other customers' prescriptions. I'm right here, I'll be with you in a minute.
I've been waiting here for over an hour and my daughter is sick. Is this how you treat seriously ill patients? My daughter could have died in the time it took you to serve us.
The pharmacist and I exchanged annoyed glances, and she stopped what she was doing to help Entitled Mother. I continued serving the customers waiting in line, getting through a handful of people while the pharmacist walked Entitled Mother and her daughter to the over-the-counter medicine aisle and picked out a cold and cough syrup for them. Looks like the illness wasn't as serious as Entitled Mother would make it seem. As Entitled Mother and the pharmacist were walking back to my counter, Entitled Mother exclaims loudly,
"Do I have to wait in that line again? This is ridiculous."
The pharmacist, along with everyone else at the front of the line that had witnessed the entire exchange, rolled their eyes and sighed as the pharmacist walked over to me and told me to help Entitled Mother when I was finished with the customer I was currently helping. She clearly just wanted to get this woman out of our hair. When the man I was helping walked away, Entitled Mother stepped up to the register once more and placed the syrup for her kid on the counter. Your total today is going to be $10. I don't remember the exact change, but I'm pretty sure the bottle cost somewhere around the $10 mark.
$10? That's so expensive. Don't you have a coupon? I should at least get some kind of discount for having to wait so long to get this for my sick daughter.
I'm sorry, but there's no coupon for this.
This is outrageous! I shouldn't have to pay $10 just to cure a common cold.
I thought your daughter had some kind of deadly illness. By this point, the line was most definitely out of the door, and the tech was forced to come help me out. He took the syrup box and opened up another register, taking the hellish woman away from me and allowing me to help the next customer, a regular sweet old man who was coming in for his wife's chemo meds. As I'm turned around looking for the gentleman's medication, I overhear the old man and Entitled Mother's conversation.
Can you believe they want to charge me $10 for some cold syrup?
The old man, being the kind, gentle soul he was, just smiled at her and shrugged. I placed his huge prescription bag on the counter and scanned the barcode. And your total today is going to be $1,200. Once again, don't remember the exact price, but it was over $1,200. The old man smiled and handed me his credit card.
Looks like the missus is doing better. This is $300 cheaper than last time.
I managed to catch the speechless, blush, incredulous expression out of entitled mother out of the corner of my eye as I handed the old man his bag and bid him adieu. The tech had gone to the back of the pharmacy to pretend to be looking for a coupon. Standard procedure we use when dealing with morons, and entitled mother began calling for him.
Don't you worry about that coupon. It's to be expected of such a poorly run establishment to not have a coupon for cold syrup. Just give it to me and I'll pay you so I can finally leave this place. I'll never come back here and I'll tell everyone how horrible your service has been.
Whatever, lady. See you never. As entitled mother walked out of the store, everyone standing in line shot her some very menacing glances, and I was happy to get back to serving all of the decent customers waiting for her to be done causing a scene. That is, until the next nightmare walked into the store a half hour later. But that'll be a story for another day. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I know this story's supposed to be about the entitled mom, but geez. Chemo medicine is that expensive? Is it like one of those scenarios where the cost to produce it is like insanely small, but they're just really padding those profit margins there because wow, big pharma bad. This story's called Entitled Mother Demands I Give Compensation After They Ruin Movie. Here's the cast. Entitled mother, entitled daughter,
Entitled son, me,
Cousin?
security guard.
A bit of background. I'm currently living in Minnesota. I'm studying to become an attorney. My French cousin was visiting. She works in the military and she was currently on break. We had decided to go watch Joker as we had heard good reviews and were both fans of the movie. So we were in the theater with our snacks, at which point a family of three sits behind us. Guess who? The film was great, however. Entitled son had clearly seen the film before as he kept saying what would happen next. This was incredibly irritating, so I politely requested he stop.
Excuse me? What did you just say?
I was just wondering if...
Don't you dare speak to my little angel like that.
Not wanting to disturb the others in the theater, I stopped talking to them and attempted to ignore them. Entitled son didn't stop and actually began talking louder. He also began to kick my seat. Cousin noticed I was becoming increasingly distressed and spoke up.
Miss, this is not appropriate in the theater. Please be quiet for everyone's sakes. My son may do whatever he pleases. It's a free country, bench.
Cousin stands up.
If it's bothering you, just call security.
She was clearly intimidated by Cousin's build. Military made her pretty buff.
Fine. Excuse me.
Cousin proceeds to call a security guard. Security guard comes over and asks what's the issue. Sir, this woman is harassing me.
He's lying, sir. Please escort them out of the theater.
Don't be silly, mommy. James was talking the whole way through.
Shush, Emily.
All right, that's enough. Come on, out you go.
While being dragged out, entitled mother is screaming for a refund. On the way out, I meet up with the entitled mother again.
For hassling my family and ruining the movie, I demand you give me compensation.
Yeah, right? Cousin comes back from the bathroom.
Is there a problem? No, miss, I was just leaving.
Satsu. Entitled son sticks his tongue out at me. This story was short and sweet. However, it cannot possibly be real because who in the world gets intimidated by a French person? I'm kidding. It was a joke. French people have really nice things like the Eiffel Tower and baguettes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.